Hi friends, Tracy Bish here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. Welcome to Halloween Spooktacular. This is week 2, 3D project. So very fun to be here with you today creating this with you. This is a very simple treat idea, great for friends, family, co-workers, trick-or-treaters if you have some come to your door. This is a really simple little idea, and of course I had to use these treat holders because they come in the suite. So iridescent treat bags, they're have like a holographic sort of effect to them. I love them. I thought that they are really cute. Last week we used them with the card, so if you haven't checked that video out, please go back and have a look. But like I said, these are very simple. We're using some die cut from the Fright Night Dies. Yep, that's them. I'm using the larger label die. I'm using the INKY. There's also Boo that you could use as well. The spider webs, the little spider, and the banner here as well. So and on top of that, this layer here is actually part of that DSP. So in the Spooky Sweet DSP, yeah, that's what it's called. In one of the sheets of DSP, there are these beautiful little labels that you can or tags that you can cut out as well, and we're using this one in the pumpkin pie, so we'll be taking one of those out and using that. So let's get started with it. Okay, I have done some pre-die cutting just to keep the video as short as possible for you guys. So I have my pumpkin pie large label, we have the banner die in pumpkin pie, I have a black spider web. INKY is in black cardstock as well. Oh, that's a little bit coming off. And I have that spooky little spider, which is pretty cute as well. So we have those. We are going to grab out one of our iridescent treat bags. And you can pop anything inside here as you like. Because they're a bag, you don't even need to have lollies or candies that are wrapped. I'm actually using my husband's favourites, Sherbies, so he can eat these at the end of it and they won't go to waste. And I think I can get 5 in here. I think that's how many I got in the last one. So you can put unwrapped lollies as well. Okay, so that is going to go in there perfectly. So cute. Alright, I am going to also grab that tag from that DSP. I'm just going to do some quick cutting of it out. That's probably the easiest way. So I'm just lining up my cutting blade with the edge of that tag and cutting it out really quickly and easily. So you get lots and lots of tags in that DSP sheet, and there's 2 sheets in every piece. Okay, so this is going to go over the top. As you can see, there's little bits that go over the top. So I'm just going to grab my paper snips and I'm going to come in and just cut around those swirls, and that will help to go on the tag a lot easier. Fits much more perfectly. Alright, we can just attach that down with, actually before we attach that down, well, let's bring in our little spider web there, and I'm going to just attach that underneath that DSP piece just with a mini glue dot. Whoops, let's try that again. And I want to just pop that in and underneath, so we've got it in the right spot. Now we can glue this little label piece down. So is anyone Halloween crafting with me? Has anyone done the projects from last week? I know Halloween's not a super popular crafting for everyone. I get that. For some reason, I just really enjoy it. I'm also going to grab my INKY and add that down with just a little bit of glue. You want to be careful that you don't put too much down so it sort of goes everywhere. I did make a mess in my sample by having a little bit too much glue. So let's see if I can do a better job at this time round. So cute. And then our little banner is going to be popped up with a few dimensionals. So you can make a lot of these simple and easily by doing all your die cutting first and then popping it together. There is no stamping on this. You could certainly stamp if you wanted to stamp, but hey, we're not going to make that hard. And then we're going to also use a mini glue dot to give that a little bit of a pop up. That mini glue dot gives just a little bit of dimension as well. There we go. Because we're going to make him shimmer and shine in just a second. There we have it. Now, that looks good, but the old wink of Stella, you cannot go past that. So let's add some shimmer and shine. Oops, that went a little bit over. That'll be fine, that'll dry off. You can also do it before you pop your little spider down or your sentiment. The extra sparkle on this, especially on the black card, is amazing. I'm going to leave the spider web. I don't think we need to worry about the spider web, but can you see the sparkle and shine on that? Looks gorgeous. We're going to add a little bit of a hole with my hole punch up here, like so. And then I'm going to grab some of the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. I'm going to use the black in that. So I did make a mess of this when I made my first one. I'm going to tie a knot first, like so. There we go. And then I could probably cut this off. Now this is super thin, this little twine. And this is where I sort of made a bit of a mess of it, but it did end up working out. Actually just created a few knots, which, you know, lots of knots works out in the end. You've just got to work out how many knots you need. That's what I think anyway. Just needed a little bit bigger than the hole that we hole punched in. Maybe you've got a smaller hole punch, that would certainly make it a little bit easier. There we go. So that, there we have it. It's a nice little knot there that's not going to be pushed through. And then I can just come and do a little bow, tie that up. And how sweet is that? Cute little idea. We've used the treat bags, the iridescent treat bags. We've used the Spooky Halloween DSP and the Fright Night dies with a little pumpkin pie and basic black cardstock. No stamping, quick and easy little treat ideas, and perfect to give out, you know, at work, at school, maybe even to friends, family, kids next door, maybe, I don't know. Maybe if you give them a treat, they won't egg your property. I don't know. Anyway, this is week 2. I'll be back later on this week with the card for week 2. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Hit subscribe if you haven't done that as well. And if you're after any of the projects, or actually any of the products that I have used on today's project, you can purchase them in my online store. There is a link in the description of this video, so you can please go over and do that. I would so appreciate your business. And I've got some freebies that I give out to my customers each month as well. So if you don't have a demonstrator or you're looking for a demonstrator and you live in Australia, I would be happy to help you out there. All right, everyone, I'll see you later on in the week. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you all soon. All right, bye-bye.